Are you considering moving to Loxahatchee, Florida? And you're wondering the pros and cons of living in Loxahatchee, Florida? Watch this entire video to find out all the pros and cons of living here in Loxahatchee, Florida. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to get more videos like this one, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Also, if you have any questions, leave your comments and questions below, and I'd be happy to answer them for you. Now let's get started on this video. Loxahatchee, Florida is located in West Palm Beach, or Palm Beach County, Florida. It's located to the north of Southern Boulevard and to the south of North Lake Boulevard. One of the cons of living in Loxahatchee, Florida, which maybe it's not a con to everybody, there are a lot of properties still on dirt roads. So if you're a clean freak like me and you like your vehicle to be clean at all times, most of the homes you will find are still located on dirt roads. But you do find a lot of homes for sale on paved roads. But just keep in mind, the homes that are on paved roads, you're going to pay more money for than you would if it was on a dirt road. So keep that in mind. Something else to consider when you live in Loxahatchee, Florida, you are on well water and septic tank. So if you're used to having city water and city sewer, no more. Not for now. I'm sure somewhere in the next 5, 10, 15 years, they might start bringing it in certain areas. If you are on well water and you've never used well water leaves a slimy, I wouldn't really call it a slimy film, but it leaves a slight residue behind, especially when you get out of the shower, you will notice it. The water is very clean when it comes from the well. Most residents, which you should if you're going to move here, consider putting in a reverse osmosis water filtration system for the whole house. Because you got to remember, you're going to be using the water to wash your clothes, the same water that goes through your filters on your refrigerator, same water that's going to come out of your shower, your sinks. So if you're doing dishes, you definitely want a water filtration system to have filtered water going through your dishwasher. Do some research before you buy a house in Loxahatchee to find out how much of an expense it will be to install a reverse osmosis system, unless the house has one. If it has one, that's awesome. Septic tanks. Unlike the city sewer system, septic tanks are a little different. It's going to cost you less money in your taxes and your water bill, since you don't have a water bill because you're on well water. But when you're buying a house in Loxahatchee or anywhere where there's a septic tank, you should always get the septic tank inspected during the home inspection process. Because if you had to replace a septic tank or redo the drain field, as they call it, it can get expensive. So that's one thing you should consider when buying a house in Loxahatchee, Florida. Pay the extra few dollars to do the inspections and make sure that you're not stuck with a big expense down the road or even immediately after closing. Traffic. Now, one thing to consider when living in Loxahatchee, Florida is traffic. There's only 2 roads to get in and out of the community. And what I mean by 2 roads, that's heading east and west, not north and south, but east and west. If you're on the southern portion of Loxahatchee, Florida, you have 2 options. You can take Seminole Pratt Whitney, which is one of the main roads that goes north and south through the whole entire area, down to Southern Boulevard. Now, Southern Boulevard goes east and west back towards the Florida Turnpike and I-95. The downfall to this is that just to the south of Loxahatchee, you have Royal Palm Estates, you have Loxahatchee Groves, you have Wellington, Florida, that all take Southern Boulevard for the most part to get on the highway. So the traffic is going to be a lot more if you go to the south. My personal opinion is if you're going to move here, try to find a home on the northern section of Loxahatchee so that you can take North Lake Boulevard to the Florida Turnpike or I-95. There's going to be less traffic overall for right now. They are building new construction homes on the north side of North Lake Boulevard, some big development, so I do expect traffic to increase more as time goes on, but as of right now, living on the north side of Loxahatchee, there is going to be less traffic. So that is something to consider. And also, a lot of the houses that are being built, I seem to notice more houses being built on the north side of Loxahatchee. So you're going to be in an area where the homes are newer. Now, maybe you don't want homes being built around you, but you should consider the fact that on the north side, more homes are going to be built on the north side. And I think this is due to proximity to driving in and out of Loxahatchee, Florida. Grocery shopping. When living in Loxahatchee, there's actually only one Publix located within the city limits of Loxahatchee, Florida. That's located off of Seminole Pratt Whitney and Orange Boulevard. One of the other Publix is, so if you live on the north side of Loxahatchee, there is a Publix located in West Palm Beach on North Lake Boulevard in the Ibis Shopping Plaza. Ibis is a gated community. It's got a country club and other stuff, but there is another Publix right there. So if you live on the north side of Loxahatchee, Florida, you should probably visit that Publix because it's going to be less crowded and probably a quicker drive for you than going to the one on Seminole Pratt Whitney and Orange Boulevard. Schools in Loxahatchee, Florida. If you have children attending school, there are 5 elementary schools, there are 2 middle schools, and there is 1 high school. If you check the description of this video below, I will put the link in there which will go to the Palm Beach County school system so you can research the schools located within Loxahatchee, Florida. Home prices here in Loxahatchee, Florida, you're going to find a medium average price at $400,000 to live in Loxahatchee, Florida. Now, you will find homes for less money. Those are going to be the older homes. Sometimes, a lot of times, they'll be the wood frame construction. Ideally, here in Florida, you want to live in a concrete block construction home. Insurance is going to be cheaper and it's going to be safer during hurricanes if a major hurricane would to come through the area. Now, in regards to prices for homes, like right now, there are a few homes out there that will be built and ready by March or April of 2021. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath that you can pick up for about $450,000. You can find resale homes anywhere from $350,000 up to $500,000, $550,000 on a daily basis. It just depends on your budget, how big of a home you want, and also if you want a house that's new or older. If you're going to be working, let's say in the Fort Lauderdale area, and you have to drive, it's honestly a 1-hour drive from Loxahatchee, Florida to the Fort Lauderdale area. If you're driving to West Palm Beach, it could be 20 minutes to 30 minutes, just depending on traffic. If you have to drive to Miami, add another 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what part of Miami you're going to. I hope you're not driving to Miami because that will be a long drive on a daily basis. But if you only had to do the drive periodically, it wouldn't be that bad. One other thing you'll notice about living in Loxahatchee, Florida is at nighttime, it is very dark out here. There are no street lights like you find in the big cities. Now, I'm not saying there's no street lights. Most areas don't have street lights on the roads. So when you come home at night, be prepared, it will be dark. So if it's raining and it's dark, you know what it's like driving in the rain. So just keep that in mind. It's a little different than living in the big city. I don't find this to be a con, but it is something that new residents and people moving here should understand that it's something to consider. One other thing you will notice living out here in Loxahatchee is that because it still has that country living, you're going to see people out here riding their dirt bikes, their 4-wheelers. You'll see people driving around in their golf carts all the time. You'll see people riding out here riding their horses. So it is pretty unique. People have the freedom to do this out here. That's the one thing that a lot of people come to really start to enjoy after they move here, especially from moving from a big city where you wouldn't dare ride a golf cart up and down the road because you'd get pulled over by the police officers or the cops. Another great thing about the residents in Loxahatchee, Florida, they're very friendly. Neighbors have other neighbors' backs, which you don't see that often anymore. It's not like the good old days living in a small town where everybody knew everybody. I'm not saying that everybody's going to know every neighbor on the street, but in general, the people that live out here are that type of person that they're willing to help their neighbors out. So get ready for your neighbors to introduce themselves. They might even bring you a cake or cookies. I don't know. I haven't seen that happen yet, but I'm sure it has. But just be prepared that people are friendly out here. So if you're not a friendly person, maybe you shouldn't move out here, because you will have neighbors that want to be your friend. One of the area attractions here in Loxahatchee that you have nearby is Lion Country Safari. If you do a search for Lion Country Safari in West Palm Beach, this is where you can drive your car through a wildlife park, if you want to call it that, and actually have lions, rhinos, zebras, every animal imaginable coming up to your car or near your car. Now, you're not allowed to get out of your car because you'll probably get attacked and killed by some of these animals, but it is like you are going through a wildlife preserve, which is unique anywhere in the United States. There's only so many of these, and the West Palm Beach area, Loxahatchee, is one of the few that have this down here. So if you do come visit at least, maybe go check out the Lion Country Safari Park. Definitely the children and the kids usually enjoy it the most. Most parents are more worried about the animals scratching up or dinging their cars, which happened to me many, many years ago. That's a whole nother story, but that's one cool thing that this area does have. If you own a boat or wave runners and you're looking to trailer your boat to the boat ramps, it's going to take you about 30 minutes, 35 minutes to go to the closest boat ramp in West Palm Beach, depending on traffic, depending on where you live at exactly in Loxahatchee, Florida. If you're going to go to the Jupiter boat ramp, it's about a 45-minute drive. The Jupiter boat ramp is one of the nicest ones. It's where I would go if I'm trailing my boat. But just consider that is a 35-minute to 45-minute drive to the local boat ramps if you live in Loxahatchee, Florida. One of the other advantages of buying a property in Loxahatchee, Florida, you have tons of land to build stuff on your property. Let's say you want to build a pole barn. Let's say you want to build a garage workshop, fully air conditioned. A lot of businesses are running businesses out of here. Let's say your parents are going to be living with you in the near future and you don't want them living inside your house. You have tons of room to build an in-law suite. I've seen 3-bedroom, 2-bath additions or in-law suites built on the back of the property. I've seen a lot of 2 bedrooms and I've seen 1 bedrooms built. I've seen houses that you can buy with them, not always, but a lot of people then rent those out for additional income. So it is something to really consider about moving out here. It gives you the freedom to do some of these things. One of the biggest questions we get from a lot of new residents that are looking to move to Loxahatchee is they're worried about flooding. Now, I'm not going to say that it'll never, ever, ever flood, but the houses are built up high enough on a pad and all the water drains into the canals that were dug out years and years ago when they developed this area. On your personal property, depending on where your land's situated, you could have a little bit of standing water after a heavy, heavy rain. Now, recently, we're in December 1st right now, we had a ton of rain. Now, properties did have some standing water on their land, but I saw this everywhere. I mean, we had so much rain, it was just out of control that all my 40 plus years living here in South Florida, I don't recall ever seeing that much rain over that extended period of time ever happen here in Florida. A lot of the country boys out here, is a nice way to say it, you will hear people shooting their guns periodically out here in Loxahatchee. Don't call the cops. Hate to say it, this is normal. There are areas people shoot their guns. I've never had any problems or any concerns from residents and clients of mine that have lived out here, but that is something you will hear periodically. If you're looking to go to one of the local malls, you do have the Palm Beach Gardens Mall, which is about 15 minutes away, depending on where you live in Loxahatchee. Also, you have the Wellington Mall, which is going to be on the southern side of Loxahatchee. And again, depending on traffic, about 15 minutes, give or take a few minutes to get to that mall. These are big malls. There's little local mom and pop shops that you can explore. They have farmers markets here in Loxahatchee, Florida. There's going to be everything possible that you're going to need within a 15-minute drive of Loxahatchee, Florida. When it comes to crimes here in Loxahatchee, we're actually very good, and it's on the low side when it comes to overall crimes. So that's one good thing to consider when you live in Loxahatchee. I hope this video provided a good amount of information for you to make a decision if Loxahatchee might be a place for you to call home. My name is David Rogers. I'm the broker owner of Rogers Realty Group here in Palm Beach County, Florida. If you have any questions about buying in Loxahatchee, please reach out to me anytime. I'll leave my information in this video and in the description below. I'm always available to answer any phone calls, questions, anything that you may have.